This review is about Keen Newport sandals. There's lots of options out there, and I guess the question of the day is, are these the ones to buy? Are they worth it, and how do they wear over time? I'm going to give you a pretty good look at that in terms of comparison, because I have on my feet here a pair that I've had, I think, for 4, maybe 5 years. I've used them really extensively. It's definitely time for a replacement, and I'll show you why I know that, and then I'll also show you what they look like right out of the box, so I can hopefully answer the question, are these the sandals that you should buy for yourself? With that said, let's get started. Here's an old pair. Now I've had these for 4, maybe 5 years. Looking at what's different, no issues with the bungee cord. It's solid, no fraying, nothing whatsoever. Leather, obviously faded. Now this is where it gets interesting. The sole. Man, look at the wear and tear on this. The underneath the ball of my foot, almost entirely gone. The heel, this is worn down through all the way to this spongy inner material. The outside is very durable, inside is spongy, but that gives it the cushion and flex, but that's almost all gone. Nothing's gone on the inside here of the arch. That still looks pretty good. And on the inside of the shoe, this attachment to the sole, no issues whatsoever. None of this is ripped or torn. It's been pretty durable. The neoprene looks intact here. A little bit of separation right here at the joint. And this is deteriorating just a little bit, but no issues there. The big issue is here in the back. And I've had this on multiple pairs. This is actually on the outside of the sandal. And I've had this in every pair I've owned. Eventually what happens, the leather rips right here at the seam, and then on the inside, the same thing's happening with the neoprene. And that's when it's time to replace, because when this rips finally, and it will eventually, then the sandal's not gonna be usable at all. I also find that over time, this gets a little bit of stretch. The bigger issue is, this is what's causing that problem. So, time to replace it. Pretty obvious. Here we are, new in box, keenfootwear.com. You can look at that up for all kinds of different styles. What I'm showcasing today would be the Newport size 9.5 men's. The bison is the color, and let's take a look. Here's a new pair. Let's look at all the different features. Pull tab to help you get the shoes on and off. Inside, neoprene liner with lots of cutouts for breathability. All leather upper. The sole, proprietary Keen material. It's got a really heavy duty toe box, so you're not gonna stub your feet if you run into something hard. The bottom, very, very durable, and it's got a good amount of flex, but what's super nice about it is it's thick. The advantage of that is that when you step on a rock, you're not going to get the feel through the bottom of the sole, because it's thick enough and stiff enough, it won't bother you, but it's also flexible enough that it's comfortable when you're walking. A very nice arch, protection on the back. The inside, a little more difficult to see, but it's not leather, this particular material. However, it's kind of like a cork. I'm not exactly sure, but very, very comfortable, not slippery or sticky when wet. Minimalist advertising, that's kind of nice. Not sure what this guy's about. And then a bungee cord that you can use to tighten it up quite a bit. And to tighten it, you just basically push this down like any other bungee cord to snug it up tight to your foot. That's it, pretty basic. It is advertised as waterproof. Now, to be truthful, it's leather and neoprene, so when it gets wet, it doesn't break down, but it does take a little bit of time to dry. In the sun, not a problem, but if it's super damp weather, you'll find that it takes a number of hours. All in all, lots of nice features. Very durable, very breathable. Leather looks sharp. To contrast it, let's take a look at what happens over time. So there you have it. Much richer color. These are faded over time. And again, it's just nice to see them side by side. When you think about what I'd shared on the breaking down of the sandal, this is a good comparison. So obviously well entrenched, and this is where we've had that breakdown. And not only is the leather ripped, but the neoprene has also ripped apart a little bit. I just can't stress enough how old these sandals are, though. I don't know exactly how many years I've had them, but it's at least 4, maybe 5. This is the only area that's failed on the edge. The rest of them, no signs of breakdown at all over the years. So I think that's to be expected. The bottom sole contrast also quite significant, where you can tell how this is worn down over time. And then at the bottom, I think this is kind of interesting. Obviously, I have a bit of a drag on my foot when I step. That's why this is worn down so much. This comparison may be a little harder to see, but in terms of the thickness of the sole, there's a bit of a tread here in terms of depth that is worn down here. And I think that's just, again, what happens after a long period of time. Looking a little closer, there's some of the outside material on this, which has broken away. Obviously, just time for a new pair. Would I buy them again? The answer is, oh yeah, definitely. In fact, I have. I've tried other ones on, but what I find is that either the sole is way too flexible. You can feel ground underneath your feet, which I don't like, because if I was just using these for city hiking or on gravel paths, not a problem. But I actually use these in the mountains as my backup set of hiking boots. These are actually fantastic because they're easy to get on and off. The other thing I like about them is if I have to go through any streams or rivers, etc., these are easy to slip on. They dry off fairly quickly, and they protect your feet from whatever's on the bottom of the river bed. So there's absolutely nothing I don't like about these sandals. I highly recommend them. Just understand that after a period of time, this is going to rip. It's not a question of if, but it will pull away, and then you have to replace them. But man, I tell you what, you can pick these up for somewhere around $100 on sale. If you buy these and they're fit right, I'm confident you'll like them. Wrapping this up, I'd just like to say thanks for checking in. Really hope you got value out of the video. Other than that, smash that like button, please. Give me a subscribe and get out there on the trail. Thanks.